Page 5, Hobble My Thumb. Here we're studying a little bit about crossing over the second finger. Remember, the second finger is the index finger, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, second finger. And you'll see it in the first measure, because the middle C, the first note, is with the thumb here. And you're going to cross over for the B, one note. See, the idea is we have 5 fingers in our position, or in our hand, but we need to cover 6 notes. These. And this is one way of doing it. There's other ways, but this is a good one. Now when you do this, just relax. The thumb will move if your hand will relax a little bit. Don't twist around or do any kind of weird stuff. Just relax. You should do this in both hands. It doesn't matter what notes you use. It's a little trickier with both hands at the same time, but you really should practice this in both hands. You'll get it there in line 3 for the left hand. So let's go through the process that I use to learn a piece of music. I look it over, I see it's about 4 lines long. The clef signs are treble and bass clef. The time signature is 3/4 time. Both hands are playing at the same time, so I'm going to take it one hand at a time. Right hand, you're starting here, but you're going to cross over for one note. So it's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and these. And this is a bit of a trick going from measure 1 to 2, because you have an F, the last note of measure 1, to this. You're using the awkward fingers. I use weight to push the notes down. I don't try and hold the hand still and use the fingers. And I'm simply transferring weight from this finger to these fingers. And I'm just transferring weight, and as I do, I'm just lifting one finger and putting the others down. So now the weight's on these fingers. It takes a little practice to get used to it, but it's important that you get it eventually. Anyway, second measure here, that's 3 counts, and the next measure, D sharp. Since 2's on the D, I'm going to use it on the D sharp. And then for measure 5, you need to lift up and come up to here, this position. You just lift up and move. Same thing, okay. Measure 10. You have an A and an F. You're already in this position, just come up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 measures later, you come down here. And you come down any time, just make sure you're there before you need it in measure 12. So it's 1. For the last line, we're down here for E, C, and then E flat. Now you can do this okay if your hand's got really, really big fat fingers so you don't fit here, although you probably can. You can always finger it this way. I don't know how big your hands are. So and then the last measure is an E natural. And in the last measure, they don't really need the natural sign. It would be an E natural anyway, because the E flats and that next to the last measure are only good for that measure. And that E flat sign is good for the rest of the measure. So both of those E's in measure 15 are flat, but then the last measure, it's a natural. The natural sign, it's nice to know. They're just reminding you, make sure you play an E natural. Yeah, it's a courtesy sign. Left hand, well, left hand starts out with second finger on C, that puts you here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then for measure 6, you get treble clef. So you're going to come up here. 1, 2, G sharp now. Since 2's on G, I'm going to put on G sharp. 2. And then for measure 9, you're already in position to cross over like you did with right hand. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2, 2, 3, and then going on, just lift up and move. We do this quite a bit. It's called a repeated note. You're playing the same note more than once. And so the dotted half note in measure 10 is a D, and the first 8th note in measure 11 is a D, same note. It's a repeated note. We're just changing hand positions on repeated notes. I'll bring that up more and more as we go through, but you're here. Then you're going to clef sign in the middle of the measure. That's all right, they can change clefs anywhere, you never know. And then for measure 13 again, that G is a repeated note, we're going to do it again. And then measure 15, reach up 2, and then a 5-1. This is a good fingering for these last two measures in the left hand. This here, we use this quite a bit. Don't try and use thumb for both. No. Use the second finger on the A flat and then here. So once I have an idea of what each hand is doing, I'm going to put the hands together and hope for the best. So we're starting here. Your hands are kind of in the way, but you just keep the left hand a little bit out of the way so the right hand can have this note. So it's 1. Then as you're playing these notes, you get the left hand in position. Then here, 2, then here. As you're playing these notes, then you move the left hand up. So I'm moving a hand while I'm playing the other, because the beat has to be a steady beat. So it's here. And as I'm playing the 8th notes, in measure 11, I'm getting the right hand down. 13, as I'm playing these notes, I'm getting the right hand down. I got 4 notes down at the end. I get the hands sort of working together, and then I'll go back over it slowly and carefully and get rid of any hesitations. The beat has to be a steady beat. 1 and 2 and 3 for the whole thing at your speed, not mine. And once there's no hesitations, then I add the articulation. Here, the only ones they're giving you are the slurs for the 8th notes. Connect them. They're not giving you anything, and in that case, you do anything you want, because they're not telling you anything. It's up to you how you interpret it. I'm going to suggest you go ahead and connect them. Connect these. Connect it all. You have to lift up when you move the hand. So the phrasing is sort of built in for you. But otherwise, I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and connect this all the way through. Then the dynamics, MP or mezzo piano, whatever you think sort of soft is. It's the melody, wherever the melody is. Here. This needs to be kind of soft. However, the way this is written, you could actually play both hands the same, because it's kind of it's more than one melody going on at a time. Now they have the hairpins there in measures 2 and 3, where you're going to get louder and then you're going to get softer. So you're soft, moderately soft, louder, up to moderately loud, and then back down. And then measure 5. Now you're soft. And again, you'll go up to moderately soft and back down. Moderately soft for measure 9. Now here, the last 2 lines, I suggest you consider the left hand as melody, and that means you're going to play the left hand a little louder than the right. The right hand's just in the background. So in measure 10, when you play that, keep these soft. I want to hear that. Don't drown it out. No. And at the end, measure 14, you get a dim. That diminuendo gets softer. A little softer. Very soft. Both hands. And poco rip means slow down a little bit. Yeah. Which means the speed. What's the speed? Allegro moderato. Isn't that nice? They're giving you a metronome marking, that's only a suggestion. So it's sort of fast. Not fast, sort of fast. To me, it's sort of like a trot, when you're kind of trotting along. Have fun with it, but these 8th notes are going to slow it down. So it's the feel of it. slow it down and get softer and fade out. Ideally, you get the feel in it and you get to interpreting the music. Interpretation, a lot of teachers don't teach interpretation. I try to do at least a little bit. And the dynamics, the articulation, the tempo and all that, that's part of interpreting the music. They're telling you some things about how to interpret it. You can do more. The natural accents. A natural accent is an accent that happens naturally. On piano, we just play it a little louder. The strongest natural accent there is the first beat of a measure. So in 3/4 time, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You feel this. Now, if you have to, you exaggerate as you can. 1, 2, 3, 1. But eventually, you just feel it. Let's try this together very slowly, just to check the notes and the rhythms. Now, we're not performing it, we're just checking notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do any louds and softs. I'll give us 3 counts because there's 3 counts in a measure, and just one hand at a time if you have to. Now, learn it first, and then try it with me. All you're doing is checking, do you have the right notes and the right rhythms? That's all this is for. 1, and ready, and go, and. 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.